Campbell, you're here desperate to learn if the man you're in love with is indeed your 3-week-old daughter's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Rogers, you're a married man, and although you have reason to doubt, you say it would break your heart if you found out today that you're not Anna Gale's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, to further complicate things, Ms. Campbell, you're in a relationship with both Mr. Rogers and his wife.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome, just bring her in.
You got it.
Thank you. All right, so I've got to start with you, Mr. Rogers. Please tell the court about this unconventional relationship you're in with your two wives, as you call them.
Me and Angela have known each other for 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've been married for 20 years. And we met Gracie where we worked at, and they kind of hit it off together. She brought Gracie into the relationship just for herself. I knew she liked women, so I kind of just let her go ahead.
Okay, and how did it progress?
I let them, have their relationship. I got brought into it about a year later. Gracie wanted to have children. She said she was getting to the age where she wanted to have kids. So Angela told her, she said, the only way you can have children is if Thomas is the father. I agreed, and that's how our relationship started out between all three of us.
So let's just be clear. You all live together.
Yes, Your Honor. We all live together. We all sleep in the same bed. We got 3 boys, me and Angela. Me and Gracie have a 2-year-old son and maybe a 3-week-old
And the child in
daughter.
question.
Yes. Now, they had a commitment ceremony, these two.
We did have a commitment ceremony, us two. He was there. He's the one that gave me away, so it's not like it was forced. And as far as the relationship between me and him goes and bringing her in, the relationship, he's a man and he wanted it just as much as me.
All right, so let's get to the doubt surrounding baby Anna Gale. Why does the doubt exist? You
Your
are
Honor.
in a polyamorous relationship, so that means you expect that both of these women would only be sleeping with you.
That was the whole situation.
That's what you
You know,
felt
I
like
was
the
supposed to
deal
be
was.
I was supposed to be the dad of her 2 children.
How did we get here? What happened?
They decided they was going to go to Phoenix, where Gracie's
Your Honor,
mom
may I
lived.
say something, please?
Yes.
Me and Angela had went to Phoenix to pick up my mother,
Okay.
and I had told her about the swingers club that I used to go to, and we had wanted to go there, and she agreed.
Okay, Your Honor, may I interrupt? Okay, that is not completely 100% true.
Okay, so
Let me explain how
somebody tell
this,
me the truth.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the truth how this went down. She decided she wanted to show me some of the things that she used to do. One of them was a swingers club. I did not particularly want to go. Finally, because I love her, I relented and I went. When we get there, I thought it was just a regular club. People are dancing, they're drinking at a bar. It looked normal. I mean, other than it was a swingers club.
So did you not say,
So,
well,
now,
we
wait a
shouldn't
minute.
have sex?
Hold on. So, if you're standing before me, you weren't just dancing at this club.
Well,
And it wouldn't be called a swingers club if it was just a dance club. So what
No.
happened?
well, I didn't know at the time. She had got really drunk. She started talking to some guy, kissing on this guy. Well, I didn't know there was rooms in back. Between both of us drinking a lot, we ended up in the back in one of the rooms that they have set up. We ended up having relations with this guy that we don't even know.
You both have sex with this guy
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
without protection?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rogers, you really didn't see this coming.
No, I didn't. I didn't see any of this coming. I thought we had a good relationship. Me and Gracie, we have a son together, 2-year-old son. She wanted another child, and I thought that's what we was, what we were going to have together. And for all this to happen, I don't know what's going to happen now.
So as you look at baby Anna Gale, do you feel like she's yours?
I want her to be mine. I see her every day. I try to spend as much time with her as I can. When I get home from work, she wakes up, I get her.
So even after you found this out, even after you knew all this, you still come home from work and that's what you want to do is spend time with your baby girl and your children.
Yes. I went through my life without a dad. You know, he was there one day and then I didn't see him again for 10 years later. I don't want none of my kids to go through that, you know, whether they're or not. You know, it's not the kid's fault.
And Your Honor, I have here evidence of the conception date, and I also have a calendar of the conception date.
Jerome, let me
Of the
see that.
events.
So,
Because
Mr. Rogers, while Jerome's getting that evidence from you, so while they're gone, in your mind, you thinking they're going to pick up her mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were intimate with both women right before they left.
Before and after.
I want to understand, first of all, the evidence that Ms. Campbell presented. On this document, it outlines the approximate date of conception, and it's listed here as September 11th, 2013. And this is from your doctor.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. As we look at your calendar, your doctor's saying here that your date of conception is the 11th, and when we look at the 11th, there's no one, but right there the day before would be potential father number 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's really close to the 11th.
I know in my heart that I did mess up. I did. And I didn't mean for all this to happen. But I want him to know that, of course, you might not be the father, but I hope that you are.
When did you find out about this incident?
Well, it was about 7 months into pregnancy. Now, the whole time going through this, you know, I was there. I went to the doctor's visits. I went to the ultrasounds.
May I say something about it, though? That was our fault. I feel really bad. There's no amount of times we can apologize, but we did decide to keep it a secret.
So you all
that was
decided-
on us
How many times have we
as a
said we're
couple.
sorry?
We decided to keep it a secret. But the thing about it is, it's her fault. I mean, it's my fault for not telling. Don't get me wrong, because I should have told.
Well, you were
up
in
front.
this too.
But she was the one texting her friend on Facebook and left her phone open, and that's how he found out the secret.
Polyamorous relationships are one thing, then you got poly cheating, that's another thing. You guys got a
Exactly.
lot going on here. You got him in a relationship with you all, you both cheat, but now you gonna blame her and say she's the one wrong because she left her phone out.
I don't know how many times I can say I'm sorry to you.
Well, how do you think I feel? I'm going through the same issue with my 18-year-old from where she cheated on me all that long time ago. And I'm not sure
Well,
if he's
people
even
make
my son.
mistakes, though.
Okay, is
No,
there
not
something you
really.
wanted to say? You've got some more
Yes,
evidence?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Jerome, will you please get that from Ms. Campbell? And what is this evidence?
It's the evidence of Anna Gill's eyes that look exactly like his, and I know they have the same facial features.
So
and
you
the
feel
eyes.
like he is her father?
I feel like they have the same eyes.
The truth is you all created this family,
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
yet what you've done is tearing the entire family apart.
My point of view is I hurt my best friend. He is my best friend.
Let me ask you a question. If I hadn't seen that message, would I have known?
No.
No. And it frustrates me because I know.
Because I was afraid if I told you, I would lose you. And I don't want to have to live without you.
And I don't want to lose him either.
Me and Angela's been through this with our other child. She found out she was pregnant and she told me within a month, yes, I had relations with somebody else while you wasn't around.
All right. This is your teenage son,
Yes,
whose
Your Honor.
paternity is also in question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome, please bring Austin in.
But it wasn't like the situation with Gracie. I went to him, told him I was pregnant. I told him what I'd done immediately.
Come on up, young man. Have a seat right next to me here in the witness stand. Austin, you're here because you want to get some answers today regarding your paternity. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rogers, who raised you, you know him as dad, may or may not be your biological father. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you want the answer to that mystery today.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to treat this as two different cases. Is that okay? I think that's the best way. Jerome, may I have the first results, please? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Rogers versus Campbell Rogers pertaining to 3-week-old Annagale Rogers. Mr. Rogers, you are her father. Relief?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being there for her regardless. You know, although many people may not understand the polyamorous relationship you've all decided you want to be a part of, what rings true is that you're a dad.
Yes,
You're a dad, and these are your kids, and you love them.
Every one of them.
I wish I could say court was adjourned and wish you all the best of luck, but this family has yet another paternity issue that needs to be resolved, and that relates to you, Austin. And I need to understand more about how did you come to realize that your paternity was in question at all?
About 3 years ago, I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So a little while after that, my parents came up to me bawling and told me pretty much that my mom had cheated on my dad.
After the diagnosis?
Yes, ma'am.
I have some paper evidence here that talks about Crohn's disease, and it explains that it is pretty much hereditary.
Jerome, can you please hand me Mr. Rogers' evidence? So,
And no one
Rogers.
in my family or her family has this disease.
so you two had to come clean with the secret you had been keeping from him.
We did keep a secret, Your Honor. I told him as soon as I found out I was pregnant that I had cheated.
So the bottom line is all of these years, you two had made this decision. We're going to keep this secret. We're going to raise this young man, give him a beautiful home, love him as our own, and this will be our secret, and he doesn't need to know this until this disease came into your life.
Yes, ma'am.
And so as you look at Austin, do you have any doubts that your husband is
I do have doubts.
his child?
Austin's taller than me and his dad both. He's the only one in our family with blonde hair. There's a lot of differences in Austin.
Had he not been diagnosed with Crohn's disease, would you have ever told him?
We discussed that, and he didn't want to ever tell him.
No.
But I mean, that was my fault too, because we agreed together not to tell him. Your Honor, okay, I got that I cheated, and he might not biologically be his, but that don't mean nothing. It takes real parents to raise a child. And to step up and say, I want to be there, and that's what we did, regardless of what happened.
So, Mr. Rogers, once you made that decision with your wife, you owned up to your responsibility.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rogers and Ms. Rogers, is there anything you'd like to say to Austin before the results are read?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to mess up. I love you, but I love Dad too. I didn't want to split us up because he is your dad. It doesn't matter what these tests show. He's been there through everything. That's what makes a father. It doesn't matter what these tests show.
Mr. Rogers, is there anything you'd like to add?
I just want you to know that I love you, and I've always been there for you, and I always will.
Well said. Well said. Jerome, let me have the results, please. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Rogers versus Rogers pertaining to 18-year-old Austin Rogers. Mr. Rogers, you've waited 18 years for these results, and the wait is over. In the case of Rogers versus Rogers pertaining to 18-year-old Austin Rogers. Mr. Rogers, you've waited 18 years for these results, and the wait is over. You are his father. I think that deserves a family hug.
I love you too.
Well, that's beautiful. Rogers family, I wish you all every blessing. Austin, I want you to take care of yourself. Look, I'm not here to judge your polyamorous relationship, but what I will say is that if this is what you choose to do it responsibly, like any other relationship, and put the children first. I want this family to understand that you all have decided to be just that. And so you have to operate that way. Do we understand, ladies?
Yes, ma'am.
So be responsible, be respectful, but most importantly, be a family.
Thank
Court
you.
is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mrs. Eastridge, you are here hoping to save your marriage because DNA doubts surrounding your son Wesley has led to constant arguments with your husband. You've opened your case to prove to your husband that he is Wesley's father and repair the damage to your marriage. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Eastridge, you say doubts surrounding Wesley's paternity have caused great pain in your marriage. You claim your wife slept with her ex, leading you to question if Wesley is your biological son. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mrs. Eastridge, describe the current status of your marriage.
Well, our marriage is actually on the line right now. His family's put a lot of doubt in his head, and so is mine. We needed this fixed so we could move on with our marriage.
So this has created a lot of turmoil.
It's just a lot of argument because with my family and his family saying, you know, he's not yours.
Your family and his family.
Yes, Your Honor.
going.
Our families do not want us together.
Neither one of the
Neither.
sides of the family, yours or his.
Yes, Your Honor.
So tell me what else is happening. So you're arguing about paternity in the home?
Yes, Your Honor, but I know for a fact that Wesley is his son.
All right. So, Mr. Eastridge, you have doubts.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't think he looks like me.
What's going on in your home? Are you arguing about paternity?
Yes.
How did the argument start?
Well, the argument started when she got mad at me one day and we was arguing while she was pregnant, and she told me that she was leaving and going to one of her family members' houses, and that for me not to worry about her or the baby because I'm not that baby's father, that it's her ex's baby.
Oh, so now you're convinced this child is not your biological child because she told you it was her ex's.
You're correct, Your Honor.
This happened when she was pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I got mad one day because we were arguing, and I looked at him, and it was out of anger. I told him that not to worry about me or the baby because he wasn't his.
So you say you were saying it out of spite,
Yes, Your Honor.
but you knew once you made that statement, there was no taking it back, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you said it anyway.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you really can't blame him for being doubtful because you said it.
You're right, I don't, but I just want to prove to him, hey, he's your kid.
All right, so take me back a little bit. Tell me about your relationship. How did you all meet? When did you find out she was pregnant?
We actually met at a military academy.
Okay, so you were going to school?
We got together, and pretty much we've been together off and on since then.
How many years? How long?
Since I was 14 and he was 15.
Okay, so you've been together for many, many years.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you decided to get married.
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you find out about the pregnancy?
We was partying, and she took a pregnancy test, and because she just all of a sudden had just feeling like she was pregnant or whatever, so I'm like, okay, let's go get you a pregnancy test. Well, she took it and came out, and said that she was pregnant and showed it to me, and I was excited, but at the same time, I didn't know what to think because we just got married like 3 days before we found out that she was pregnant.
Oh, so you weren't married yet when Wesley was conceived,
No, Your Honor.
and you weren't sure whether or not she had been intimate with someone else.
Correct, Your Honor.
But clearly something else had to happen if the paternity of the child is in question.
Well, my ex, he lived with my family. After we broke up, they let him live there. He lived there for ever since me and Anthony got together, pretty much.
So your ex remained close to your family?
Yes, Your Honor. He made sure that he was there.
Okay.
And if he wasn't there whenever me and Anthony came over, he'd be there within 10 minutes because they would call him.
Okay, so your family wants you to be with your ex?
Yes, Your Honor.
So Mr. Eastridge, you obviously believe she cheated with her ex.
I do, Your Honor.
And why do you believe that?
Because I found social media messages of her and her ex talking back and forth, texting, messaging each other. And when I confronted her about it, she got mad and said she was going to another one of her family members' house.
But the reason that I actually left is because he was actually texting the family member that we were living with, talking about how he wanted to screw her.
What?
Yes, she showed me the text messages. It was all talking about how he was going to come in her room, do her, and everything. That is
You
another
said that,
addict.
Mr. Eastridge?
I did send them messages.
Oh,
I
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, you admit it?
Yeah. This is already after the fact, though, of what I caught her doing on social media. If it's good for her, why ain't it good enough for me? I'm just saying.
Oh, so it was
So
payback.
two wrongs make a right.
I never said that either.
And this is while you all are married.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So I still want to understand what you saw in those social media posts that made you think they were sleeping together. It was flirtatious language?
She was trying to get her family members to give her rides so she could go see her ex and also see other people too that she was also messaging.
Oh,
Yes, I understand what I did was wrong, but I was always told my entire life to keep a guy on backup because nobody will ever love you. Nobody will ever do anything.
Who told you
then
to keep a guy? Who told you to keep a
family.
guy on backup?
A family member.
Oh, a family member
Once
told
I
you.
realized that Anthony actually cared about me and he actually loved me, is whenever I left it up on left the other Facebook up. I left it up. He read them. He saw it then.
So you were keeping this ex on backup because you had gotten that advice from a family member to keep one on backup just in case.
That's been drilled in my head my entire life.
Okay. At some point, you hit a really rocky point because you broke up.
Yes.
What happened?
It was February 2016. We had actually split up, and my ex was at my mom's. And of course, I was depressed, so I was drinking. And we ended up doing what we probably shouldn't have.
And so you had sex with your ex?
Yes, in February of 2016. The conception date of my son is April 1st through April 11th. Anthony is the father, I know this for a fact, because of the conception date.
But Mr. Eastridge, you believe the ex is the biological father of Wesley?
I mean, it could either be him or the other guys she was messaging on social media.
Okay, I'm gonna cut in there. Been with Anthony since I was 14. Since then, I have only had sex with 2 people, him and my ex.
And her ex he goes around town saying and telling everybody that he is Wesley's father.
That's because he's obsessed with me. He even told my family members that.
Really?
He wants him to be his, and I know for a fact he isn't. He wants to cause me and Anthony problems, like I said, because nobody wants me and Anthony together. My ex wants me back, and it's not happening. I'm happy with who I'm with.
And so what's that look about, Mr. Eastridge?
What look, Your Honor?
That look you just said when she said she's with the person she wants to be with. Do you believe what she's saying?
No, Your Honor, I don't believe it. It's hard to trust somebody when they'll also go right behind your back and mess around with other people on you. I mean, that's...
The way I see it, Your Honor, if he doesn't believe he's the father, then why in the hell would he be there from day one up until now and never really said nothing really about it except for little bitty arguments, but he still calls himself daddy to Wesley. He's got Wesley calling him dada. Why would he do that if he does not believe it?
That is a great question.
See, look.
You look like a happy dad on that photo.
I want to be his father, but I just believe that I'm not his father. I mean, I don't see me in him or anything like that. I claim him as my son regardless or not, but I just don't think he is actually my son.
And this brings tears to your eyes, Miss Eastridge, when you see the pictures and listen to what your husband is testifying to?
Yes, Your Honor.
And why is that?
Because them two are my life. I grew up without my dad, and I don't want my son doing that.
Are you afraid he's going to leave if he finds out he's not Wesley's biological father?
There's no chance he's not.
So why would you be afraid he would leave?
I haven't done anything. It was back in 2016 in February. My conception date was April. It clearly states he's the father.
Mr. Eastridge, are there any other men you believe could be Wesley's biological father?
Probably a handful from the messages that I read from social media.
What were they saying on these messages? Because you keep going back to these messages. They must have been very explicit.
Well, they was wanting to both meet up and, you know, have sex.
That was never once said.
I wish I still had the messages. I'd prove you wrong. I ain't got the messages, but I know what I read. I know what she said. I know what he said back.
And this was not just with the ex. These are messages to other guys. You could see different people. And at different times, she was talking about meeting up with them.
Yes, Your Honor.
And for you, these weren't just innocent friendships.
No.
Has anybody told you they've seen your wife with other men?
Yes. Her family member told me that there was people constantly coming in and out of her family member's house and stuff. And I also wasn't around a lot. Like, around her, even though we were married, I wasn't really there much because her family members don't like me. And so I don't stay where I'm not wanted.
And so there were men coming in and out of her family member's house.
Correct, Your Honor.
And that led you to believe that your wife was being promiscuous or sleeping with other people because the men were coming in and out of the house?
Correct, Your Honor.
Did anybody tell you that, or you just came to that conclusion because of what you read on the social media messages?
I would be walking by the house and I'd see people like going into the house and stuff. And at the same time, her family members was also telling me that, you know, she was with so-and-so and stuff like that.
So you said in your court papers, and I think this is what you're trying to testify to, is that other people were telling you you weren't Wesley's biological father.
Correct, Your Honor.
That's what they tell you?
Yes, Your Honor.
What are they saying?
They're telling me that she was sleeping around on me and stuff, and where I've seen her text other people, like she'll message other people when I'm not around and stuff, who's to say she won't sleep with somebody else when I'm not around.
And because you've been hearing this, you asked our court to speak with one of your family members, and I have a summary of your family member's statement. It says, I know Anthony Eastridge is not the father of Wesley because Michaela sleeps around. Everyone in our town knows she is promiscuous. Some of my friends have even slept with Michaela. There have been times that I would see men going in and out of the apartment. Also, there's another man, Michaela's ex-boyfriend, going around town claiming he's Wesley's father. So I'm positive Wesley is not Mr. Eastridge's baby. That seems consistent to what you testified to. Your family members seem convinced that you are not Wesley's biological father. And even with your family members' thoughts, concerns, you still have developed a relationship with this baby.
It's not his fault that I'm not his father, so I shouldn't take that out on him.
So the stakes are high here because truly your marriage is on the line. There's also no trust, and that is a recipe for disaster. I think it's time we get the results so we can see where we go from here. Jerome, may I have the envelope? Yes. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Eastridge versus Eastridge, when it comes to 6-month-old Wesley Eastridge, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Eastridge, you are the father. You are the father. Wesley is your biological son.
I'm happy to know that he is.
Miss Eastridge, what are you feeling? Are those tears of joy, relief? What do you feel?
Joy now that everybody can shut up and quit saying he's not his and they're trying to ruin our relationship.
Because it's been a lot having the world against you and having this paternity issue.
It really has.
Over your head and over your son's head. Wesley's only 6 months old, and so you just really gave birth. Before we go, I have to say this to you. I know you have felt like your family and your husband's family have been trying to ruin your relationship. That may be true, but you have to be careful that you both don't ruin your own relationship by being spiteful and trying to get back at one another, by having sex with other people and flirting with other people. You are very young, but you are husband and wife. And figure out how to grow together because you both have a lot of maturing to do.